welcome into another episode of Juiced Up, only found right here on GallerySports.com. I'm your host, Rachel Van Orania, and on this show, I talk about whatever the heck I want, whatever's going on in the world of sports. And today, I want to talk about the college football playoffs. Look, I've been a little bit neglectful, I'm sorry to say, of college football here on the show as of late. So I brought in one of the best guys that I know to talk about some college football. His name is Jared Lee Smith. He's the lead betting analyst at Pickswise. He's also the co-host of Fox Sports Radio's Countdown to Kickoff. Jared, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. Let's get right into it, okay? Look, the two semifinals, they are set. The match on December 31st. Number one, Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to take on the number 4 Ohio State Buckeyes in the Peach Bowl. And then we have the number 2 Michigan Wolverines. They're going to face the number 3 TCU Horned Frogs in the Fiesta Bowl. Look, there's a little bit of controversy around TCU getting in. First off, I want to know, did the playoff committee get it right with the teams? And did they get the right order, Jared?
Yeah, I think they did. And I'll be honest, I know TCU's last game was a loss, and usually that's the kiss of death for getting into the college football playoff unless you're an Alabama or a Georgia and you're undefeated. But I do think TCU, because of the body of work, deserved to be in. And they got a little bit of help. USC also lost, and it wasn't a great year for Alabama. And I thought it was pretty funny the night of the conference championships after TCU lost. You saw Nick Saban go on one of the major networks and basically lobby for Alabama to be in, kind of like a pundit would on one of the Fox News shows that we like, that I don't really watch. But, you know, the politics of college football certainly played into it. But I do think the committee got it right. I think TCU did enough during the regular season, and they showed a lot of heart in that conference championship game. Max Duggan leading them all the way back. They tied the game, went to overtime, and then just kind of fell up short there at the end. The order, you could make a case for TCU dropping to the 4 spot, but it's also hard, I think, to put Ohio State in the 3 spot, considering they didn't even play in their conference championship game. So I actually think the committee got it right across the board. I think the 4 teams are correct, and I think the order is correct. I also think it sets up a possible Michigan-Georgia rematch in the championship game, which is what we saw in the semifinals last year, a game that Georgia dominated. So I really like the narratives in this game, and I'm excited to watch Georgia play Ohio State. I think that's going to be a really good football game.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Georgia play too. It's no secret on this show. Those are my dogs. I got a dog in this fight, so go UGA. Now, look, okay, we talked about the order. Now, I want to talk about the actual matchups going in. Jared, Sure. What are the X factors for each team? Or actually, better yet, let's go down the list. Let's go down the list of each team really quick. Sure. What are the keys to winning for each team, in your opinion?
With Georgia, it's their offense. And I know we talk about Georgia's defense a lot, and their defense is great. They've got probably 3 or 4 NFL caliber players. Last year, they had, I think, 7 draft picks. It's unbelievable how much talent's on that defense. So there's certainly a high level of talent there. But I really do think it's the offense for Georgia that's the engine of this team. And it's Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator. He's like a wizard. The way he schemes things, and if you watch Georgia's offense, the way that they motion and the way that they make Stetson Bennett's job very easy. But I think when you look at what Stetson Bennett's been able to accomplish, it's the perfect marriage with Todd Monken, because, again, they do a lot of shifting, a lot of motions, a lot of play action, and they've got pretty decent weaponry on the outside. And, again, if Stetson's in the pocket, in rhythm, it looks really smooth. Now, for Ohio State, we haven't seen them play in basically a month plus, and I'm curious what adjustments they made. Maybe they got a little bit healthier. Maybe the Michigan game, they just didn't scheme out what Michigan was trying to do in that spot, and maybe they'll scheme a little bit better, because I do think their defense played pretty well during the regular season. Of course, they brought Jim Knowles over from Oklahoma State to be the defensive coordinator. Oklahoma State last year had one of the best defenses in the country. Knowles had a good thing going for a few weeks there. And then over the last couple of weeks, especially during that Michigan game, it really fell apart.
All right, Jared, really quick, we're up against it, but I just want to know, there's a quarterback playing in this playoffs for Ohio State that the Houston Texans will be watching very closely. You know that the Texans need a quarterback. We're assuming it's down between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Who do you think they take? Who do you think they should take?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I've gone back and forth about this one, because I think the best quarterback in the draft there isn't one this year. I think it's really what your franchise values more. If it's arm talent, it's Stroud. If it's heart, it's probably Bryce Young. Because I think Bryce has more of that Mahomes-like quality to him where he can make a play out of nothing. Where I think C.J. Stroud is more like a Peyton Manning where he needs to sit in the pocket and make throws and have a good offense around him and have good receivers. So I think arm talent-wise, Stroud, but I'll be honest, if I had to pick one guy today to be the quarterback of my team in the last game of the season, I think I would take Bryce Young.
I do not disagree with you on that one. Hey, we are all out of time, but Jared, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you, and I hope to have you on again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, that's all the time we have for now. This has been Juiced Up, only found right here on gallerysports.com. That is your one-stop shop for immediate insight and information. I'm Rachel Van Orania, and I will see you mañana.